Hello, everybody. This is Tom, and I will make another video here. And I will speak about something that I think very, very often about also. And I watch a lot of videos about this job and about this field, you can say, this field. Is it like a good idea getting into programming and coding and computer science or web dev or whatever they call it, software engineering, becoming a coder? I say, I mean, there's so many, it seems like there's so many terms of the same stuff. And I am, to begin with, I am not an expert. I basically don't know anything how to do coding or web development, but I do know how to make a web. In a way, I'm a webmaster, and and remember that we will get, because we will get back to that. So is it worth being a coder or becoming a coder in 2026? The real answer is that who knows. You see so many people talking differently about this topic, that the technology we have today is not going to take away any coder whatsoever. There are so many protective people I see about this topic, and I have to give my opinion on this. These people talking about the artificial intelligence will take away coders or web developer jobs, tasks, chores. Like, so many are protective of the narrative that AI will not take anything. It will just be a tool. It will be vibe coding or whatever they say, you know. Basically, as I understand, vibe coding is when you use AI to do the coding for you, and you are just implementing it. You're solving the bugs with the AIs, the Claude or whichever tool you prefer, and then you just go on with your day or build your product. The way I see it, I know already how I use artificial intelligence. I'm keeping up quite a lot, obviously from another perspective, compared to someone who is actually a computer scientist, that using it in a very direct way in relation to actual coding. But with the tools, I can also program. Of course, I think that you gotta have some kind of fundamental or basic understanding of coding, because if you just start to code and you don't really know what it means, you are not really that productive actually. I just see it like this. I can build a website today, and I don't need to hire people to do it for me. If you are working for a company doing coding and you are a manager, why would you then need 10 juniors when you can do all of that yourself? You know, maybe it's not that simple all the time. Maybe it's more complicated. I understand that. But we see the facts. We see the numbers. Juniors are going away. What is the next? Is it the managers or is it the mid-level positions? It's not only in coding. It's in so many fields. I'm seeing this more from a socio-cultural perspective, because I'm a social scientist. So I look more of a, let's call it more macro social perspective, how this changes human beings to operate and relate to each other. I understand it has a huge impact on how we are using the products and how that makes us relate to each other. Go into any factory, like coffee room or break room today, and see how people communicate with each other. Most people, they communicate with other people through their devices. You know, of course it has an impact. So why doesn't it have an impact on how we are doing the job to create these products? If we have that technology now, and it's only getting stronger, better, faster, I think this year is one of those years when it's going to actually start to massively lay out, or maybe it's not right to say lay out, but it's going to be massive layoffs. It already started. So people that are very protective of becoming a coder, even like studying different fields like logic fields like mathematics, engineering, or even social science or something like that, you can, like I just tried the other day, took a really difficult math problem, threw it into the AI, out came the result after 10 seconds or something like that, maybe even shorter. And sure, I think if you have the right approach, you're going into something because you want to program yourself and you want to learn this, because everything in the end is about how do you practice this once you have learned it. I understand math. Like me, I was never a math person. I was not good at it. It was not for me. I've still been interested in some math, and I've still been interested in some professions that is very logic and related to mathematics and logics and stuff like that. But I can really understand why some kids, like, they don't learn because this is not for me anyway, so I just do it through the AI. The same is like if you're going today to learn a profession that you know the AI will do it anyway. Many people will question that, and I do it also. Why then bother learning it? So what do we get? Where do we go from here actually? I think that you should go into those fields, coding in this case, if you really know that you need to have the basic understanding and how I will execute my jobs later with the help of AI, of course. I think it comes as a no-brainer by now that we gotta use the tools, we have to implement them or incorporate them. And then of course you will need to have some basic understanding of what you're doing. But in the end, here's where it becomes a bit scary and a bit difficult. Even I can do things now that I don't understand, but I can still get the task done. So why do you think they are hiring no juniors now? Because there are fewer and fewer people that can do the job with a basic understanding without any more people, without any more staff. And soon maybe it's just like a person above those people that actually use the AI and they had a basic understanding. Maybe later it's gonna be just even fewer who do the job without actually really knowing how to do the job, because the AI do it so well and they get the result that they want. So I understand it's a long path, and there are so many new products, there are so many new tech evolvement and developments that's going on all the time. So I think it's definitely a market for it, and there's going to be a lot of jobs and much more positions to come, but they are getting more competitive, they are getting more scarce, and it's just a really difficult time to actually do something productive with it, because with the AI it's actually doing the jobs that the humans used to do before. Now it's just like, okay, why this little code that I'm writing here? Oh yeah, sure, I learned a lot, but in a month the AI have taken over and do that regularly. So what actually problem did I really solve? Sure, I learned personally, I know how to solve this kind of bug, or I know how to set up this function for an app. But in the end, like after 6 months, maybe the AI already knew how to do it, but then you're like, okay, what problem did I really solve? I think that's the question we gotta ask as human beings. I think that's the more important question, where we are at this point. What problem, like what real problem am I solving now for the better of everybody? Because going into this field of becoming a coder or a vibe coder just to like, okay, I'm gonna have a great salary, I'm gonna be a super coder solving bugs or building this app. It's coming up new apps for different needs all the time, of course, but how many more do you really need? How many more do we need? So that's what I mean. Going into this field just for like the money is there, or you're gonna be this great coder for the money, for the sake of the money. I hear so many people say that don't get into it. If you are not absolutely passionate about learning constantly about new pathways or new ways of coding and new changes and everything that is just changing with the web development field, and you're doing it only for the money, you're not going to last. I have seen so many like top level programmers. I've listened to many top level programmers that just say that straight out. You will be burnt out, you will break down, and you will also like lose out on like time with family, lose time with putting in those hours just to like try to solve this and build this next thing, you know. But that's what you gotta take with you. Try to build the next thing, be ahead of the curve. But then you realize that like those years just went by, and the AI is just ahead of you 10 times, or the AI is ahead of you a few years. So then in the end, like, what did you really solve? I think what you should question yourself then, what I really solve is the daily interactions and daily problems I help out the people around me, or community building, solving problems for the community. Not by trying to like, okay, I'm going into this coding field to become really wealthy and be really ahead of the curve. But if that's your thing, if you are really passionate, and if you really know you got this, and you have a network basically that pushes you to be that, then I think it's a good idea. But again, with AI and with the tech that's already here, it happens so fast, so it's always going to be ahead, so you can't catch up unless you are one of those really, if you belong to one of those groups that are really ahead and building this and leading this technology essentially. If you're not that, maybe it's like going to be very difficult. I don't think that's and I think we will see more of that, more people dropping out of this field because they realize that just everyday like me, I can build the website, I can build the app. I don't need to hire. Of course, there's always going to be very complex products, complex systems, complex bugs to solve or stuff like that. But again, there are going to be it's going to be fewer people that solves this with the help of the technology itself. And just wait until the technology works by itself completely, is automated, and know how to do tasks and solving them itself and having new ideas itself. Then we're talking about a whole different ball game that we're talking about here. Maybe I come off as a little bit harsh here. I think I am just being extremely realistic based on my own personal observations. And I absolutely respect everybody to have their opinion about this matter, just like I have mine here. And this is not just me speaking from nowhere. I'm actually speaking on behalf of what I already learned. So I think that it's going to be really tough. And not only coders, many other fields as well. But I'm just talking about this thing with coders because it's interesting about how much I see about it, and also the fact about how much coding and tech is actually driving towards this new world, or this new tech technocracy, or whatever you want to call it. That this technological life we are heading towards. That's like the driving force, you know. Technology has always been the driving force, and now just having systems that are thinking and solving and dealing and reasoning completely independently. Maybe not right now, but that's where it definitely is heading. I don't think that I would want to be in that ball game, in that hustle, basically. Thank you for listening. See you in the next one.